Generative AI is completely reshaping the business landscape. So how far have we come in 2024? Well, let's look at a number of ways that organizations are actually putting artificial intelligence to work. 83% of companies say AI is top priority in their business strategies, but who's using it? How are they using it? And is it working for them? A survey from Deloitte found that about 79% of business leaders reported full-scale development for 3 or more types of artificial intelligence applications. So in short, AI is already reshaping those operations, strategies, customer interactions, and a lot more. So before looking at the biggest areas of impact, let's get some definitions right. So what's the relationship between AI, generative AI, and large language models, or LLMs? Generative AI and large language models are closely related but not identical concepts. They're both subcategories of artificial intelligence, which is the overarching field that involves creating machines that mimic human intelligence, okay? It has several subfields, including machine learning, which embeds deep learning and neural networks mimicking those human brain patterns, statistical learning, natural language processing, pattern recognition, robotics, computer vision, and of course, generative AI, which is also encompassing large language models like GPT, ChatGPT that is, or Perplexity, or Bard, or Microsoft Copilot, etc., etc. Generative AI is a subset of artificial intelligence, as I said, that focuses on creating new content, such as text, images, or music. Large language models, LLMs, on the other hand, are a type of generative AI model that can generate the human-like text. So it's a subcategory of generative AI in that it's just focusing on creating the new text, not the images and the music. Generative AI and large language models are used for creative writing, chatbots, as you might be familiar with when dealing with financial institutions, and content generation as we know it from social media. The way large language models like ChatGPT and Perplexity operate is at first they are trained on data, okay? So they first learn simple words and sentences, like when we teach a child to read and write from a very young age. As they read more books and have more conversations, they'll start to understand context, they'll have more conversations, they'll develop a sense of humor. So large language models work similarly, but on a much larger scale. So in effect, they're reading millions and millions of text or bits of text from many websites from across the internet, from news articles and scientific papers to social media posts and literature. So through this process, they learn to recognize patterns, okay, in how we communicate. So an LLM or large language model like ChatGPT might learn that when people say it's raining cats and dogs, they don't literally mean animals are falling from the sky, but it does recognize that it's an idiom for heavy rain. This ability to understand the context and nuances of human language allows large language models to perform tasks like drafting emails, writing code, or even, having conversations that feel natural and intuitive to the human that's interacting with it. One of the other subcategories that I briefly mentioned before under the banner of artificial intelligence is natural language processing, or NLP. Now, this is another subcategory of artificial intelligence that has been around for a while, for a few decades, where computers understand, interpret, and generate human language. But natural language processing deals with understanding and processing existing language. Large language models and generative AI deal with producing new language, okay? So that's the main difference there. So natural language processing, or NLP, is used in tasks like sentiment analysis, language translation, and text classification, which we know have been around for a little while. It is an older technology, but it has piggybacked off the artificial intelligence advancements and has become better over time. So how is generative AI currently being used? Well, The 9 top use cases are: number 1, writing emails. Companies are using artificial intelligence to speed up email drafting, which would seem like an obvious thing to use it for, with impressive results. So a couple of examples are, firstly, Octopus Energy, a UK-based utility company, which uses AI to draft detailed email responses, resulting in about 18% higher customer happiness scores. And another example in the tech industry is Salesforce's Einstein AI, which helps sales teams generate personalized follow-up emails based on previous interactions with those customers. So it's actually looking at the data and looking at that history to sort of get a feel for how it needs to respond in the future. So another commonly used use case for generative AI is data analysis, which can be a bit of a headache for a lot of companies, but AI is actually making it a lot easier. Over 48% of companies have been using AI to address data quality since about 2020. A couple of examples are AT&T, the American telecommunications giant, which has been using AI for data since 2015, or for data entry since 2015, with about 3,000 odd automation robots, saving them about almost 17 million minutes of manual effort per year. Now that's huge. That's about 20 times return on investment. Another example in the healthcare industry are companies like Tempus, who are using AI to analyze vast amounts of clinical and molecular data to personalize cancer treatments, significantly speeding up the process of identifying effective therapies for these cancer patients, which I think is magnificent. So another use case, which may surprise you, is actually writing code. So about 80 to 90% of software developers are actually using ChatGPT in their work. First example is Microsoft. They're using AI coding assistants to help developers analyze errors, optimize programs, and get code suggestions. And another example in the education sector are platforms like Code Academy, which they're integrating AI-powered code completion and error detection to help students learn, program more effectively, etc., etc. Another use case in this space is auto-updating of customer relationship management systems, where about a quarter of all marketers are now using AI-enhanced customer relationship management software. A couple of examples are HubSpot, a leader in this space, which is reporting sales reps spend about 28% less time doing data entry thanks to the implementation of AI in their systems. And the real estate industry is also following suit. For example, Zillow is using AI to update property information in real time, ensuring their CRM always has the most updated data for agents and customers. Another big use case in this space is journalism. We're about 55 to 65% of all journalists are already using large language models like ChatGPT and Perplexity to analyze news items, suggest topics, and even draft articles. One example is the Associated Press, which has been using AI to generate financial reports since 2014, but is now freeing up journalists to focus on more complex stories. And another example in the sports industry are companies like Automated Insights, which are using AI to generate game recaps and player statistics, allowing for sports news outlets to cover more games with greater detail. Advertising is also getting an AI makeover, with about 91% of US ad agencies either using or testing generative AI. An example is Coca-Cola, which is using AI to create personalized ads for different audiences, which actually boosts engagement rates. And in the fashion industry, H&M have used AI to analyze customer data and trends, create targeted advertising campaigns, and even design new clothing items. Financial analysis and management, as you'd expect, is a huge use case for the adoption of generative AI. So Wall Street is absolutely buzzing with AI, and financial institutions are leveraging AI to transform their operations and decision-making processes. A couple of examples. MasterCard uses AI for real-time fraud detection. Their systems actually analyze millions of transactions per second and use machine learning algorithms to identify and flag suspicious activity. This has led to about 50% reduction in false declines, and that's fantastic. It's actually caught me unawares in the past when they didn't use AI to do this, when I had credit cards cancelled while I was overseas, and I can tell you it was a major pain for me. So this has also led to saving absolutely billions in potential fraud losses, being on top of it all. In personal finance, the Acorns app uses AI to help users invest spare change. The way it does this is that the artificial intelligence analyzes the spending habits, income, and market trends to automatically invest small amounts in diversified portfolios, portfolios with lots of different asset classes, spreading that risk out. This has helped over about 8 million users start investing, with many reporting significant savings growth over time. I think that's fantastic. Similarly, in the investment world, hedge funds like Two Sigma are using AI to analyze market trends and make trading decisions in milliseconds. So you can see why everything in this business world and digital world has become fast moving now. So another big use case for the adoption of generative AI is, as you would expect, customer service. So AI has revolutionized customer service, and it's the number one use case for AI in the workplace. An example would be Delta Airlines that uses generative AI in their Ask Delta chatbot, helping customers check in, track bags, and find flights. This has led to about a 20% drop in call center volumes. Another example might be in the e-commerce sector, where Shopify uses AI-powered chatbots to handle customer inquiries, process returns, and provide product recommendations, improving response times, and therefore increasing customer satisfaction. So last but not least is intelligent call analysis, where AI is changing how we handle calls. A few examples, firstly, would be Morgan Stanley's new debrief chatbot, which is recording, transcribing, and summarizing key points from over 1 million conference calls annually. Another example would be in the healthcare sector. Companies like Nuance are using AI to transcribe doctor-patient conversations, reducing administrative work and improving patient care. And a third example might be in the hospitality industry. Hotels like Wynn Las Vegas are using AI-powered voice assistants in rooms to analyze guest requests and improve service delivery. So as you can see, it's very widespread, and these are the top use cases as well. So there's a lot more use cases that generative AI is helping with as well. So for the future of generative AI adoption, well, I think it's clear that generative AI will continue to reshape various industries, but where can we expect the most significant updates? If we break it down, it's most likely to be in areas like the technology and IT sectors. Unsurprisingly, the tech industry is leading the charge in generative AI adoption. Software development is the prime area, and as I mentioned before, about at least 80% of developers are already using tools like ChatGPT, so we can actually expect this trend to accelerate, with AI assisting in code generation, bug fixing, and even system architecture design. Marketing sales is another area it's expected to explode, with about 90% of marketing and sales leaders believing their organizations should be using generative AI. Often, or almost always, only 40% currently do so. So this gap suggests massive potential growth in the areas like lead identification, marketing optimization, and personalized outreach to customers. Healthcare and life sciences is an area that's poised for growth, where from personalized treatment plans to drug discovery, the potential applications are vast. So we're also likely to see an increased use of multimodal AI systems that can interpret complex and medical data across various formats. Not surprisingly, content creation and entertainment is poised for growth in terms of generative AI. They're already exploring it for tasks like lip syncing and special effects, but as the technology matures, we'll see more AI-assisted content creation across film, television, and digital media. Manufacturing and supply chain is another big one, where generative AI is set to transform manufacturing processes from product design to supply chain optimization. We can expect increased adoption in areas like predictive maintenance, quality control, and demand forecasting, and actually similar to what is currently being done with Amazon, but it will be taken up by many other manufacturing and supply chain organizations. And again, last but not least, we're still expecting education and training to be an area for growth in terms of generative AI adoption. And as the need for AI talent grows globally, the education sector is likely to see this increased adoption of generative AI for personalized learning experiences and curriculum development. So in short, while these sectors are primed for generative AI adoption, the technology's impact will be felt across virtually all industries. So this is going to be huge. We can expect to see novel applications emerge in unexpected areas. So of course, with the new technologies across the different industries come the normal concerns and challenges like issues with data security, which most of us have seen at some point in the last few years, ethical concerns about the best use for robotics and how it potentially takes over certain human tasks, and of course the need for specialized generative AI talent, of which the need for the technology is growing right across different industries. Despite the hurdles I mentioned, the future of generative AI in business looks incredibly promising. There's no doubt about that, with the potential to add significant value to the global economy in coming years. So remember also that while AI might be taking over some tasks, it's still no match for human creativity and empathy. So if you liked this video, learnt something today, please subscribe to my channel Digital Skills with Andrew, like this video, share it with anyone who might want to learn from it as well. And until I see you in my next video, stay informed.